Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
But inside is so delightful.
It's Christmas in July.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Oh, let's review.
Season 2.
Bum.
Bum.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go on a strike. Blah 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 blah.
We're free, boys. We're free.
Baby. I don't know. Can you repeat the question? You're not the boss of me now. You're not the boss of me now. You're not the boss of me now, and you're not so big. Yeah, so you're not a big fan of this show, I take it.
Except, with the exception of Cranston, I hate this show.
Oh, man. Oh, Jesus.
I really don't like this show, aside from Cranston. He's like the only gleam of, like, he's the flawless gem within this series.
What's wrong with Dewey? Tell me what's wrong with Dewey.
He has his moments, but the point is, even if there's any glimmer of hope in the show, just the episode circumvents it, making it just a bad experience, aside from the Cranston stuff. Cranston stuff is always flawless, it seems.
Can't argue with that.
Otherwise, I wouldn't even check it out when it comes on. Just let it basically play. That's the only I see a Cranston saying, "I'll let it play, see where it goes."
You know what? I had an affinity for this show just because of the time period that I grew up in, and you know, I really do feel like it kind of hit a core of you know, the lower middle class. And we explore that in the episode, certainly, and I feel like that's a kind of prominent theme that runs throughout the whole series. And that's really kind of what got me hooked on that show, even at a young age, you know, even around, like, I don't know, like 9 or 10 or however old I was when it was airing. So I have a lot of nostalgia and a lot of affinity for the show. I mean, to tell you the truth, I think I don't necessarily, I mean, everyone hates Lois. That's out of the question. She's, like, by far the weakest element.
Well, we should probably say what the show is, too, by the way. Just noticed that we didn't.
We're talking about My Favorite Martian. Yeah. The My Favorite Martian Christmas.
No, I mean the episode.
I know, I'm fucking around. We're talking about Malcolm in the Middle.
Or the Cranston Love Hour.
Yes, and we're talking specifically about Hal's Christmas Gift. Oh yes. This one brings back a lot of nostalgic memories for me, man. I gotta say.
Well, your son said to set up my attitude towards this episode.
Oh dear.
This was like the one episode I liked from the show, and rewatching it, I liked what I still liked, but then I had a lot of issues with the stuff I just gave a pass.
I'm going to go ahead and I can take a wild guess and guess what those issues you have are, but we'll get to it when we get to it.
Pretty much everything but Cranston. Again, it's the repetitive thing.
All right, well, let's get into it. So was this one of your issues right off the bat? We have Reese, and he's
hated the cold open. Hated it.
Oh yeah.
You take us through it. I'm peeved.
Okay, well, Reese is, you know, he's kind of, he's got a lot of fruits, and he's throwing at a painting very recklessly, and, aghast, the painting falls down, and, you know, it's not good. I don't know, it bothers me, because this cold open really doesn't have anything to do with the rest of the episode.
Well,
so
remember the idiocy of it. Remember, he fixes the painting, and under the painting is Picasso's signature. So apparently, this lower middle-class family, all these money troubles, apparently they have a Picasso underneath a cheesy painting, and this idiot, this dim-witted, this bane of one of the really elements that really takes me out of the show. I hate this character. Like, aside from the mother, this kid gets under my skin the most.
Reese?
Yeah, I hate this kid. Basically, this kid's an idiot because he doesn't realize it's Picasso. What does he learn? Nothing in school? Nothing?
That's not the point of this character.
I mean, he makes fun. That's what I'm saying. He he basically he lingers on the silliness of the name because he can't pronounce it because he's that stupid.
Yeah.
I'm lost already.
Okay, there's some things that I won't give a pass. This isn't one of them, except for the fact that I don't really think that it ties into anything else. And it's certainly not a Christmas-related cold open. You know what I mean? It's not a cold open that gets you into the Christmas spirit right away. It could be a cold open to any episode.
This show makes you want to sterilize the human race if you are parents watching this. Like, I can't have a family watching this show.
Okay, so then we get to the theme song, which I've already rehearsed for you. Do you want to hear it again?
No. If you haven't noticed, folks, I'm probably the Scrooge of this episode.
Yeah, well, then we get to another Scrooge of the episode, I think, in my opinion, the legit Scrooge. Malcolm, and he's flipping a flip book full of various drawings of the word boring.
I thought that one was kind of clever, though. I'll give it a point. That kind of looked a little boring.
I don't like the line, though. I don't like the line. He's like, there's nothing to do on Christmas vacation.
You're right. I hated that line also.
If I would find something to do, then I would have done it. There's stuff to do. Napoleon.
What a pretentious a-hole.
I was like, oh, God. Oh, Malcolm.
He sank so far from Agent Cody Banks to this.
No, but I mean, would you agree that he's a Scrooge here? Like, he's just in a bad attitude pretty much the whole time.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. The mother is actually in a decent mood this episode. But
I know, right? For the most part, yeah, except for a very bizarre scene that we'll get to momentarily.
I mean, I used to be able to tolerate this one, but now, I mean, just... even for... I barely watch show for that very reason I don't like this show. But even with the few episodes I gave it a shot, just, this one, it just... You guys, I can even sense you're breaking formula here in a bad way.
All right. Okay, so let's see. Reese and Dewey walk in, and they're, Reese came up with a really, really fun idea. Riding bikes in the graveyard blindfolded. And you know what? Say what you will about Reese, but I did find the line, it wasn't a lightning experience lying in that grave. I no longer fear death.
Okay, I'll give you that line's good.
That was funny. That was funny.
I wrote that down.
I'm sorry. It says lying in the open grave was surprisingly peaceful.
Yeah, that, and then he says, no longer fear death. That's a good one.
Yeah. But then Malcolm, he kind of he's, why didn't you invite me, you guys? It's like, we didn't? No, you walked through. I thought you were in the garage. Yeah, Malcolm was kind of just in shut up mode the whole time.
Yeah, so you mean like we were telling him to shut up?
Yes, like shut up, Malcolm.
Now, Tiki, again, I try to avoid the show.
Shut up, man.
Yeah, so Tiki, I try to avoid the show at all costs. Just enlighten me here, if I just to be clear. So Malcolm, I'm getting the sense, from what the very little I've seen, is that he wants nothing to do with these guys ordinarily. So why is he all of a sudden wanting everything to do with these guys? Am I right in that, or what?
Yeah, I think you're right in that.
Because he's the intellectual of the family. He's always like these guys always dragging down Dewey.
Okay, well, you know what? The only explanation I can give is a school break and that he's feeling isolated but then again, it's like, why doesn't he go to Stevie's? It's like Stevie's house is like 2 blocks down.
Yeah, the asthmatic kid, right?
Yeah. Although it could be that Stevie's on vacation or something, but they don't explain that. I don't know.
The Carl Weiser of Malcolm in the Middle. Alright. Okay, so what do we got next? What again? There's always the fourth wall breaking in Malcolm in the Middle. What do you think of this fourth wall breaking?
What do you mean? Where Malcolm talks to the camera?
Yeah, man. I know he's done that. I know it's one of those things. What do you think about the use?
It's a device. I mean, that's all. It's just a device.
How does it stack up the Deadpool's fourth wall breaking?
Not at all.
Good.
I mean, I don't think it's aged well, to tell you the truth, because for the most part, when Malcolm breaks the fourth wall, it's just to kind of complain.
Because that's what I was just thinking, like kind of some good fourth wall usage, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's a good fourth wall.
Oh, of course, sure.
Looking at this one,
anytime the Muppets break the fourth wall,
of course, it's brilliant. I mean, they were they did fourth wall better than even Deadpool the Muppets sometimes.
Right.
But my point is, I'm getting a sense like the way they do the fourth wall in this show, it bugs me because you can never know. Like it looks like because the episode's still going on behind him, and like clearly he's still in the scene. It looks like he's just talking to the audience, and they're just waiting for them to say, "Who are you talking to?" You're just waiting.
Well, you know what it reminds me of? You know what the device reminds me of? It reminds me of that show House of Cards with Kevin Spacey.
But unfortunately, I don't watch that. But.
Well, basically, in that show, it's kind of the same thing where Kevin Spacey's just literally like talking to the audience, and he's like, "Oh, this is the politician that I'm against, and I'm going to cut him down. I'm going to slit his throat because I'm evil Kevin Spacey."
Well, that's almost kind of like American Psycho, almost. You know, like how
exactly right, yeah.
I haven't seen the show. I'm just getting the sense of it from hearing about it.
All
right, okay. So then we, let's say they have like the kid says he has hurt feelings. He tries to stop himself, Malcolm, and then he realizes, hey, the F word in our family is feelings. He's like, you want a group hug?
Oh, yeah, I admit they're pretty much assholes.
Yeah, seriously, that's the message.
All three of them are assholes.
I don't think we want to expound to the nice feeling children in the world. Hey, don't express your feelings.
Right.
I don't think we want.
I hear you.
I mean, I get it. Don't be cheesy about it, but still, just point blank, express your feelings, guys. I don't like that. Simple. Nope.
All right, so we have Hal and Lois. Yay, it's Cranston!
Yes! And as much as I'm not crazy about Lois, I do think, I just want to make this clear, in case I just berate her, just in general for the show, I don't hold the actors responsible for this. And like, even that little clip we got at the end of Breaking Bad, the alternate ending.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I do respect, I think they have a good rapport with each other, so whether Tiki, I think you might have pushed a button or something.
What?
It says you have effects on.
Oh, I'm sorry
Yeah, sorry.
Never mind.
My point is, like, I can respect, I think they have a good back and forth, they have a good chemistry and dynamic, these two, so whether I agree with all the stuff she does, I think the actress does her best to kind of give that natural dynamic with her. I mean, she tries her best.
Yeah, I agree. I think in this episode in particular, besides this one scene, that it's definitely not her fault at all.
Yeah.
Like, you'll admit it's not her fault at all. It's definitely the writing being like, oh, we need to have Lois acting crazy for the sake of acting
exactly.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm getting a sense like with the show, it's a regular thing. I mean, she can play like the real I love things I've seen. Like I love her and how having a back and forth and like husband putting up with crazy wife.
Sure.
So that works for me. But this, in generally, everything of her being, she's just a horrible mom. She's worse than Timmy Turner's mom.
Oh, that's low.
I don't know. I mean, she's in that ballpark. They're both like they're going to bad mom conventions together. Boy. They're going imagine like a bad mom convention. Seriously, imagine this. Like Dee would be there.
Oh God. Dee would be there like shelling Lipschitz books.
Yes. You have to read. Okay, so then we have an awesome scene with the great, the incomparable, let's say it together for Cranston Fest 01 here, Bryan
Cranston.
Huzzah, as hell, yeah! Okay, let's go to the scene. So the parents
they're working on a budget, and let's see, they're making all kinds of compromises. They want to take a little bit out of Reese's fund to give Dewey a Spider-Man, and Hal wants to give him a welcoming Spider-Man.
And like Reese is going to get like a two. They cut down from a four-way or more, so communications on the radio, so that downgrade to a two-way.
And then Lois is just like, well, forget the sticky Spider-Man. We don't need anything else that sticks to walls. You can have a regular Spider-Man.
Let me say this: I love just. This is gonna sound silly. I love Bryan Cranston doing budget. I love that for some reason. I find it so amusing.
Well, I mean, it really just goes to show that Bryan Cranston can literally do anything and make it amusing.
Yeah, I just want to say this: Family Guy, again, despite them completely being a lost cause by now, in their moments they have a few gags that work when they get some celebrity cameos. And Bryan Cranston had a hilarious one on an episode I want to mention because he exactly fits that mold, Tiki. There's literally a. I guess they're maybe making fun of him. It was on the Warner Bryan dies, not Cranston, but the dog. Basically, it says Bryan Cranston sneezes, and basically he sneezes and then he wins an Oscar. And it's
see.
Important. It's live action Bryan Cranston too. It's like he sneezes, and someone hands him an Oscar, and it's hilarious. 'Cause that's true. Seriously, that's what we do for the guy. He can sell it.
They should literally make a psychological thriller out of Bryan Cranston looking through the phone book for one particular name.
Oh,
And him just being like, I can't find it! I can't find the name! Where is it?
What? Oh, Twilight Zone with Bryan Cranston.
Oh, God. All right. Anyways.
Okay, but yeah, seriously, I love him doing the budget. And I kind of like the idea of like doing budget for the kids. And this gig I thought was kind of funny. Then they forgot the new one. And this is like late in the series, so it's like season 6.
It is. Yeah.
A baby, Jamie. Which I think, yeah, I never liked that name for a boy. Never liked Jamie for a boy.
I never liked the character to begin with. I think that was kind of when Malcolm in the Middle started to go downhill.
Oh, that's when it started to go downhill. Oh, you know.
Yes, that's when it started to go downhill. Because as with everything else, Malcolm in the Middle got too complicated for its own good.
So I love just kind of like they think, okay, we have it all budgeted, all fine. Says, what about Jamie? And they have nothing for Jamie. That's the real.
And then I love how Hal's just like, well, maybe Jamie's too young to remember. How?
He doesn't even know it's Christmas. It's amazing that in the show, just Hal and Cranston can do no wrong. It's amazing.
Right.
So it's great. Anyway, so basically, again, they're trying to do the budget, and they find out, okay, so you got $93 for Christmas here. And he said, well, we've been trying to cut corners left and right. Again, I love how Cranston, they're delivering some of these lines here, just like these absurd ideas.
No electricity Wednesday.
Lunch lottery, and the last one's just gross.
Oh, good. Yeah, the last one was kind of a turn off.
Family flush.
I'm like, I don't even want to know the parameters of that.
It's easy to figure out the parameters. I don't want to think about it, though.
I know.
Okay, and then they find out this is kind of, again, Cranston, again, he can do no wrong. We need a Cranston love counter on this whole channel, because we praise Cranston left and right. Seriously, we do. But
that'd be way too many pennies.
I know. I'm saying counter, because we break the bank on that. It has to be like a little flip calendar or something. Anyway, like the little Christmas counters, but like you flip like a tennis scoreboard or something.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, so then they get Lois, I guess, gets a call, and basically says Francis, their eldest son, who I gotta tell you though, he's kind of I can tolerate Francis.
You like Francis?
I like I don't know if it was always been this way. I like it when he was like he moved away or something. Well, he was like sent away to the farm or something.
Okay, you know what? I feel like he was more sort of like genuinely funny and kind of like definitely part of the family more when he was in the military.
Yeah, I'm saying is whenever he was not with the family, I liked him.
And I feel like when he had his wife, his character got way toned down. You know what I mean? And he got less funny and he had less antics, and it was more just about like, oh, well, Francis is a serious one of the family. And he definitely kind of exhibits this in this episode as well.
Basically, if it were a scale, it would be Cranston can do no wrong. Then it go to Francis, and then to Dewey.
I guess so.
If I had to rank them, that's how it would go. Okay, anyway, so then they find a Francis coming home and his wife, and there's like Francis gets defeated, look like
Not too unsimilar to the defeated look he has at the end of Crawl Space, I might add.
Okay, it's not. I just want to say I liked Cranston before he was cool with Breaking Bad in a way. I remember.
Oh, I loved Cranston with Breaking Bad. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Like you said, he's the main draw of Breaking Bad. I think.
No, I'm saying I liked Cranston before Breaking Bad.
I'm sorry, he's the main draw of Malcolm, because I think anyone who watched Malcolm could kind of attest to it. I mean, Frankie Muniz was kind of like the big star at the time, but I don't think anyone can agree that Frankie Muniz has aged well on the show. No. And whereas Cranston, I think Cranston just provides so much comedy, like so much good comedy material on the show that you can really go back and still appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm talking like, I mean, I've seen him you should see him in his Seinfeld days. Basically, Cranston was like a brilliant bit part actor, too. Like, you would have like just small roles, like just sometimes a semi-regular character in the show, and he'd always do such a great job. With Seinfeld, he played a dentist, and it was hilarious.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, so let's see. So then they figure, okay, well, no, they can share.
Okay, and then let's see.
Oh boy, this is where the episode gets a little.
Oh God. Okay.
I was with that. Here's the thing.
I'm sorry. Let's just say right now, like you said, I don't think this is the actress's fault. I think this is the writers just being like, oh, we have to have a crazy Lois scene.
Yeah. Now, okay, let me tell you this. First, again, I told you, this is pretty much the second time I've watched this, okay? Because, again, the only one I can tell, and that still just shows you how I try to avoid this. But, first time I watched this, I was a lot more forgiving. I forgave this one, the first round, because I love how it began.
Okay.
Because I thought she was entirely justified at first, but then it escalated way too much, and I realized that more so the second watch. Like, yeah, this escalated got way.
Oh, it escalated to the point where, yeah, there's no way that Lois was like all.
I'm just saying, basically, the second watch, it kind of occurred to me, like, all the stuff attached to the aftermath of this, yeah, this is a really bad move on her part.
Right.
Like I said, good. Take us through.
Okay, so the woman is in the parking lot, and might we chalk this up to a trope of parking lot drama at Christmas time?
I don't know how much parking lot drama we really had.
Well, I mean, there's definitely. I think it's kind of a like a sub branch of the whole looking for a parking space at the mall sort of thing, which we've definitely seen before.
Yeah, I guess I can give you that. Sure.
Yeah, I think parking lot drama is kind of a fun one.
Yeah.
Or just, drama when you're out Christmas shopping in general.
That makes, I was just lumping in with that. It makes a lot more sense.
Okay, cool. So anyways, there's this woman who, she's getting into her car, and her car door bangs into Lois's car.
This is a realistic thing.
Yeah, right. Okay, you know what? When I was like 10 years old, I accidentally did that when I was getting out of a car to go into a Burger King. And the owners of the car were right there, and they just straight up started yelling at me.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, they straight up started yelling at me, and then, my parents came to my defense, like, don't you fucking yell at my kids and whatever, That was a traumatic moment for me. Yeah, that wasn't fun. Anyways,
and the Christmas therapy begins.
That happy childhood memory is brought to you by Tiki, and brought to you by the Tubaphone, folks.
That's spelled T-U-B. Okay.
Are you Russian or are you dragging with the Tubaphone?
Oh.
All right, Kel, come on. Are you Russian or are you dragging, Kel?
Oh, here it goes.
Oh, Keenan, I don't want to play the Tubaphone anymore.
I don't want to play the Tubaphone. Anyway. So Lois, she's in her car. I guess she got done the Christmas shopping, or did she pull up? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. She got done. Yeah.
Again, but she's in the car, and another person pulls up or something because she's out of the car, I guess. Anyway, so basically, she opens her doors, kind of not a care in the world, and dents full on, hits the thing, not a moment concern, not even that little you're watching, you're hoping you don't hit, not that old, it's open. And then Lois is right there, window down, looks at her in shock because she doesn't even give her time of day. Says, "Hey, lady," not even. And I'm sorry, essentially. Do you remember what she says exactly? I think it's something like that.
Yeah, she apologized. She's like, "I'm sorry." That's how you do it.
Yeah, and then.
See, like that.
Well, remember the lady here. She kind of deserves it because what she says here. Now, this is a real douchey lady. I mean, not compared.
Oh,
to
it is. It is.
So basically, this lady says,
"Oh, both kind of awful people."
Yeah, they are both awful people. Basically, she says, "Oh, I'm sure it's not going to hurt the resale value." When I heard that, I was like, "Oh, that's she kind of deserves some bad stuff here."
Right,
now, if it were me, and if I had the gonads to do this, bear in mind, I'm not a confrontational guy, ordinarily. So, if it were me, I'd dent it and I'd get the heck out of there. Lois, not that smart.
I could just picture you doing something like that, lightly denting it and then being like, "Okay, I've got to go."
Yeah, it would be a very you're absolutely right. It would be a light dent. I would not have it in me just full on break a window or something and leave. I would not. I would just fold under the pressure.
All right.
I might do 2 quick dents though. I might do that, then I'd go off. Anyway, okay. Basically, then it won't hurt the resale value. Then basically, get into a little dent battle. Parents are damaging each other's cars, and
which is just ridiculous at this point. It's like 2 grown women in the middle. I do like the one thing I'll give this scene is that the reactions from the people are completely justified and realistic because they're all just like, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah.
The actions that they're taking are just freaking over the top as hell and ridiculous, but the reactions are fine.
Thank God she didn't have an infant in the back of this car. Let's just say that much.
Dear.
That would have been very, very dark.
Yes, it would have. Ooh.
Okay, so
I'm glad that show avoided that.
So then, well, they compare. Tell me something. Did one of the characters, like her mother, like lose a leg, or she just like like broken? Do you remember?
Whose mother?
I believe it's Cloris Leachman's character.
I do not remember.
So I just read the description. I was looking for this episode. Like she loses a leg, and I was like, "Oh my God, the show go there."
Yes, the show does go to some dark places sometimes. It will.
And the show is screwed up. Okay, so now they get into a car battle, and it escalates quickly. Again, to me, it's like rewatching stupid escalation. Like, these women are insane.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the point. You know, I think with Malcolm in the Middle to a certain extent, much like a lot of shows on Fox. You know what I think a lot of shows on Fox were trying to be? I think they were trying to be like, we already talked about the Nickelodeon formula for live-action sitcoms with Kenan and Kel.
Yeah.
But I think the shows on Fox, especially during this era, so stuff like That 70s Show and Malcolm in the Middle, stuff like that, I think it kind of tried to emulate the Nickelodeon format, but for teenagers and adults. You know what I mean?
I can kind of
I think in that respect, it did kind of try to go for a more over-the-top kind of cartoony sort of vibe, much like something like Kenan and Kel or Hey Dude or Salute to Your Shorts or something would have.
Right. I mean, there's one moment in this I do like, but just rewatching it just doesn't. Just again, Lois is such an idiot for just continuing to do this. When she knows full well they are on a tight budget. You gotta expect a lot of cars.
That's my main problem. Yeah, I'm just screaming.
See, that's the reason it doesn't hold
at this point.
That's the reason it doesn't hold up. It's just like Hal literally said they have $93 for Christmas.
And then, like, good job, Lois. It's like she could have just driven away. You know, she would have had like a minor dent in her car. It wouldn't have been anything. But no, she had to go into.
Here's an idea, Lois. Here's a wonderful idea. Okay, you take a picture of that damage. You take a picture of that car's license plate. You write it down, and you sue them for Christmas, and you have money for better gifts. That's the way it should have gone.
Well, Hal tries to take a similar route later.
Yes, he does. I'm just saying this would have been that. See, Tiki, that's the smart way she should have gone about it, and then the Christmas would have been a lot happier. Instead, she goes on and ruins Christmas. Because remember, she does ruin Christmas. Essentially.
Pretty much.
At first, she ruins Christmas.
I don't think she's a Scrooge because she's unintentional about it. But
well, she never learns from anything, so she might as well.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, so anyway, then the car battle escalates, and there's one funny bit in there. Basically, towards the end of it, it's like pretty much they're almost fully out of gas. Cause like they've been, bear in mind, they've been ramming into it, like straight on ramming into each other. So like the back
flat out like bumper car status.
I'm saying like the back of the car's like wrecked, basically the mufflers and everything are kind of like the mufflers and the transmissions and everything. They're like all basically like Lois is like charging full blast, and like it's like black smog's coming out of the muffler.
Oh, and I love this. I love the close up on the war is not the answer bumper sticker.
Yeah, that was funny. But here's what I'm talking about. I just love the kind of the slow charge towards one another. That I thought was really funny.
Yeah, that was fun. I like
the wide shot.
And they're screaming at each other. They're just like, ah!
See, that was funny. I'll give them that. That one was funny.
And then I do like the cutaway, too. I like how this transitions to Lois, and she's just like, I don't know what happened. I just lost control. It was an out-of-body experience. I just was witnessing a woman going insane, and that woman was me.
See,
and then what does Hal have to say to this?
One second. Before we get to one of the best lines here. Just one thing. Basically, if I were a Malcolm Middle fan, you know what I do? I take that clip and I put it in every episode.
Right.
Just basically tacking on any scene and just pretty much say, I just had an out-of-body experience. I saw a crazy woman. Okay, that explains our action. Maybe the show would be a little better, actually.
Maybe the show would have been better if it would have explored the psychological turmoil of Lois a little more. Who knows?
Okay, then we have probably one of, if not the best, and one of the best lines of the episode. Great. And again, delivered by one of the finest actors of our generation. Well, the important thing is there were no cops around to see this.
And she was damn lucky about that, too, because there were a lot of eyewitnesses.
And just knowing what one of his big shows is, Breaking Bad. Just the fact that he gets to say that. The important.
Right.
It's basically this kind of made me think, you know what? Why couldn't he have this kind of relationship with Skylar?
Okay, so maybe the creators of Malcolm in the Middle and Bryan Cranston and then Vince Gilligan had it all planned out the whole time, and maybe Hal is just like, this alter ego that eventually moves to New Mexico after he kills his wife. All right, we'll talk about that.
Too easy, nah. Okay, so then basically Reese again.
Dewey turns out to be Jesse. There, I just sold you on it.
No, it's still too easy. The point is, so then Reese steps forward. He's about to say something smug, I'm sure. And then she says, "Not a word. This is my one.
My one to your 11,000."
Well, more like your 8 million, but okay.
8 million, 11,000, same difference. Same difference.
I can assume she's overreacted more than those boys have acted.
Yeah, I would assume so. I would assume.
Again, she's been hit in the head by the freezer part of a fridge that they shut her up. So I mean, I would.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
Why couldn't it be in live action? I'd be so much more happy with this show.
Oh man! If that was just the ending of the whole series,
I would watch that show if that was the end of that series. Okay, anyways, then they decide. This is an idea I thought was interesting. Okay, this is one in the first watch I was more sold on. That's what this bit. So they decided, well, because of her idiocy, because of just the fact that they are now in the poorhouse, which one of my biggest gripes with this show, and especially this episode, and I'll get to it by the end of it. So they decided on a handmade Christmas, which isn't the worst idea, and I think.
Well, I like that, yeah. And I think it could be considered like. Have we seen other tropes like this, like people giving each other handmade gifts? I feel like that's
sure. Well, I mean, it's less so with. I mean, it's there with Christmas, but usually just in general, let's just do. They make a gift from the heart. That's usually
exactly. So let's go with that. Let's go with that. Gift from the heart.
Sure. That's a good idea. And I don't mind that idea. I just hate the circumstances around it, though, because she's
No, I totally agree. I do
like the idea of that. I mean, you got to imagine the writing process on this is that, okay, we need to get to a point where we have a handmade Christmas, which gives us our hilarious Hal. So that half of the episode, great.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. That half of the episode, Cranston just owns, and he's just like, you know what? I'm not going to just chew up the scenery. I'm going to take giant ice cream scoopers of scenery and just shove them in my mouth.
I gotta tell you, Tiki, I really love that analogy. I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that. I really love that analogy.
Just Bryan Cranston taking ice cream scoopers full of scenery and shoving them in his mouth.
Yeah, that was
scenery!
We gotta take that somewhere for prosperity's sake, because that's brilliant. Remember that for the future, okay? Just don't forget that. Anyway, so see, folks, if I don't remind Tiki, he's gonna forget about it.
Are you rushing or are you dragging?
And then, remember this moment too. Basically, this is Hal just trying to sell him on the idea of just basically trying to justify the insane thing that she's done. By saying, again, he owns this scene too. He just says, basically, the boys are upset by a handmade Christmas. Wait, what gives? I am this disgusting orgy of materialism. Just disgusting orgy of materialism is such a well-crafted line coming from him.
Oh, of course.
And then, of course, he has, again, some moments from this episode could just be applied to the whole series. I'm getting a sense of. And they were towards the end, so maybe they were trying to be a little self-referential here. I'm guessing.
I think that could maybe be the case, especially with the Christmas episode.
This line, to me, just again sums up the mother, the dynamic with the mother. Says, look at you boys, all these annies, essentially, you turned your mom into a time bomb. Thankfully, you should thank your lucky star she took it on an innocent bystander.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's too far off from the Family Guy version of Hal.
Yeah, again, remember, that was him doing the voice of that Hal, too, which is...
Yeah, I know.
I just love that line, just the way he delivers that line with the utmost sincerity, because this is a man on the verge of a breakdown himself. Just saying, just the utmost fact. Again, this is like, it's like kind of nice to see Hal get these barbs into her, and she's in the room, but he means them sincerely though. It's just, you know, you turn your mom into a ticking time bomb. Thank your lucky stars it was on his body. He is as afraid of this woman as the rest of the family.
Oh, absolutely.
More so even. He sleeps with this thing. He sleeps in the same bed. He sleeps in the same bed as this woman. If she was in a bad mood, she could stab him in his sleep.
Yeah, very, very true, very true. He's lucky that never happened throughout the course of the show.
That's another ending to Malcolm. It'll be the tragic ending. It's like, you know all those nights you just lay awake just wondering if it's going to happen tonight. It's happening. And you know what? And we could also, if you want to extend it to Breaking Bad, it's like, you know, maybe that's Walt's nightmare one night. Just he has a dream sequence, and he basically just got a stabbing in the night. Then he realizes he's in his apartment complex at this point in time. He's just like, oh, thank God.
No. He thinks it's Skyler, but then the face turns around and it's Lois.
Okay. So then, so we see the decorations now with this handmade Christmas. I gotta tell you, there's one thing here I thought was really charming. I think the paper tree is very charming. I like it. The construction paper tree.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a really nice looking tree. You know? It's like a little aluminum box on the bottom of it, holding it up, and it's kind of where Charlie Brown trees.
Okay, so yeah, Charlie Brown tree. All right.
That was a nice tree. It looks really nice. I like it.
Okay.
So then they mentioned they had the Malcolm exposit. You know, they had their oatmeal and hot dog feast.
This sounds delicious.
I don't think so. Because those two things don't really mix well together.
No, not at all.
So let's see. So Malcolm, sorry, you want to take us through this thing because I had a little patience for it.
Okay, so Reese and Dewey are talking about something, and then Malcolm, he wants to get involved. And then Reese is like, well, we don't think you'd be interested. Well, if you're interested, then I'm going to be interested in it.
So essentially, Malcolm, I'm getting a sense by this point in the season, or very just the character in general, perhaps, at least in this episode, he's Brian Griffin.
I guess. I don't know. He's just a douche.
Exactly, so he's Brian Griffin.
Fair enough. Okay. So then we see Hal putting together his gift. Now, does it bother you that we never...
Hold on. Then we have like the bit of what were they talking about, Tiki?
I don't know. What were they talking about?
Oh. What's up that nose hair?
Oh, yeah, right.
So again, just Malcolm, he's just putting his foot in his mouth this episode. You're right, episode right there, he's in the shut up mode. That's like, it's a fun mode to put on somebody's shut up mode. So then, this I love. This is when the episode got me. Like, yeah, okay, this is a good episode. This is potentially a good episode. So we have Hal with the bottle gift, which I thought was the most endearing thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we love Hal. I
think it's the coolest gift out of any of them. Yeah,
I thought it was really nice. He made him like little, like, you know, again, it's meager, like it's been a meager feast. They don't have a lot of stuff to spare. It's like handmade. Like, he made like little toothpicks with their faces on it for game pieces. And he hand wrote all on the dice, like their names and stuff. I'm assuming, like their own words, their own personal words.
Right.
So yeah, really nice. Also, he had like coupons, like free hugs and stuff. That's adorable. And he's wearing a snowman sweater. This is a man for Christmas time. This is a man we need to have in a Christmas special.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely like you said, the shining star at the top of this tree of somewhat mediocrity.
Let's just give him 8 Emmys and an Oscar while we're at it. Okay, anyway, so then basically they sit down again. This is where the episode really picks up steam. This is where it's like, from this point forward, it's like, okay, now we're getting to a decent episode here.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Hal and Lois. They're sitting down. They're expecting to get gifts, and again, homemade gifts. They're not expecting much from the kids, and they're expecting to act like they love it, but they're not really expecting anything. But then they get surprised.
Oh boy!
So we start with Dewey. So Dewey, what does Dewey give him, Tiki?
Let's see. Dewey gives him a picture frame.
Yeah, it gives Hal like this handcrafted.
It's a custom-made picture frame. It's got like little design motifs on it.
It's like a memento frame.
A hand of poker, like a baseball player, I think.
Yeah,
and it's got And it's got Lois's, like, the one good picture he could find of Lois after sifting through, like, dozens and dozens of photo albums. Yep. So obviously it took a lot of time.
And importantly, he made that frame. It's a really nice wooden frame. It's really nice.
And I love Cranston's reactions to that.
Again,
it's a mix of hilarity and just utter tragedy, I think, in a way.
See, Cranston is just, he's broken the mold of how you can... He's just broken the mold of how you can do a reaction shot. He has.
Exactly.
He blends two things, the most touched, shocked, and terrified. With the most, like, filled with love and just like, oh, that's like, he has the perfect laugh yet cry at the same time. Mm-hmm. Just the reaction that, like, you made this? But actually, no, the best delivery, and that comes a little later. We'll get that.
Okay, so I think Reese has a pretty cool gift. He makes the family a bunch of jams and candies.
Yeah, candles, I think.
Oh, candles.
I think it's candles. Like I couldn't make out that line. I thought it's a candles.
That makes sense.
I didn't see the candy, but they're in jars, so maybe I don't know.
Right, and Hal is just stunned at this point.
You made this? Whenever he just says you made this.
And then we see Malcolm, and he's got a clock.
But then handcrafted wooden gear clocks. The implication being he is.
The implication is he's Dr. Manhattan.
Yes. And again, Hal's reaction is just, at this point, it's just Price is like, oh, come on! It's like he's just holding back with utter frustration. First of all, he's really, like, just shocked. Like, oh my god, these kids do this? Because it is quite a shocking feat, these kids. Impressively.
It's a mix of shock and him just being genuinely peeved at himself more than anything.
And just like, it's like the realization of, I am screwed over a barrel here. I'm gonna look like the biggest putz in the room. You know, just his reactions are priceless. If only someone could have like the Hal compilation of like every Hal moment from the series, I'd watch that and I'd say I watched the show. That's what I'd do. And then Dewey, like, basically before Hal has his little breakdown here, then Dewey kind of like sends him over the tipping point by saying, "Oh, Mom, I made you a sonata." Just see, Dewey sang or composed like a mixtape of an opera. And just the reaction is just priceless. And then he looks over the corner, and I was like thinking to myself, poor Hal. He looks at the corner and sees like the gifts of like the boggle, and it's like, oh.
And it's so genuine. It's such a genuine, thoughtful gift, but. You know, in his own way, he's right. It's not going to measure up to what they made, especially because of cheating Malcolm, which we'll get to.
Yeah, but seriously, even just with the other kids, I mean, again, as much as I don't like Reese, you got to give him props for, like, him.
You got to give Reese props, man, because that was an impressive gift right there.
I'm saying all of them
with something handmade.
Let's just say with the exception of Malcolm, they had some really impressive gifts, these kids.
Right. And even Malcolm, it was a good gift. It was just, you know, we'll get to it. We'll cross that bridge.
Sure. Okay, let's just poor Hal again. We're rooting for Hal right off the bat here because he makes a really endearing gift. You know, he's
yes, we are absolutely Team Hal the whole way through. He is the most rootable character here by far.
Yeah, we're the Cranston crew. Seriously, we gotta market that. We gotta put that on a jacket or something. The Cranston crew. That's an awesome name.
I'm eating scenery with ice cream scoopers.
Okay, anyway, so then basically he's granted the gift. He basically, if you thought Walter White was a good liar, Hal is the lying champ in this episode in the best of ways. He's just basically he's in freak out mode here. Basically, he's frantic over like, I can't show him that gift. He says, where's our gift? He says,
it's not here.
Isn't here. It can't be here.
Doesn't Francis walk in at this point?
In a minute. He's almost.
I'm sorry.
It can't be here. It's outside. And actually, no. It's like they put in like, wait, is it outside? Let's find out.
Let's find out. Oh God.
You know, actually, I'm gonna say he might. I think he might have entered around here. It's like he enters and they say, "Boy, hey guys," says, "Oh hey, Dad's about to give us a good present." Something like that. I'm sorry.
Francis is a little peeved that he's starting without him, but I think that's a little annoying. I don't know.
I don't think he's like Jamie P. I think he's like, hey, you guys are starting without us? I don't know. I don't think it's like Jamie.
Whatever.
Yeah. Whatever. No, he's desperate in this episode, so he shouldn't really have any room to talk.
That's very true. That's very true. Yeah.
Then then his wife says, "I thought you said it was like Satan's trash can, this
Oh,
house."
honey, you're quoting me out of context.
Okay, anyway, so they're looking around, and Hal just says, well, where is it?" He says, "We have to drive. I have to drive to it."
And Hal is just like coming up with all this stuff just on the fly.
I guess, actually,
And we
someone must bring up, like, we have to drive to, and then he just has the best delivery of one line. He just says, "Yes!" And he says, and he has, like, the most psychotic delivery of "yes" you've ever heard. I'm saying this is Ren Hoek level of a line.
Oh God!
We're talking like
You
Ren Hoek.
stupid idiot!
I'm just saying, this is like he's having a this is the breakdown line. When he says this, he's had his breakdown. At this point forward, like now we have Hal, like Joker Hal. At this point forward, he's like completely off the rails.
This is like Hal under the crawl space.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. It's just it's like you see, folks. Here's what happened. Here's what happened. When in Breaking Bad, Walter White has his breakdown. He basically we cross over to this episode where we see what happened, what he imagined when he had that moment of breakdown. So this whole episode is actually in Walter White's mind while he's thinking of a plan simultaneously of what to do.
He's coming up with this whole fantasy of like trying to get a perfect Christmas gift for his alternate reality family.
Yeah, and what you didn't see is that there's a post-credit scene to this episode where basically Skylar dumps some water on Wolf from up there and basically snapping him out of it. So, hey, I'm here, Skylar. What are we doing?
You know, it did kind of bug me that we come back from the episode and Walt's just kind of fine, the next episode. But whatever. This isn't a Breaking Bad podcast.
Okay, anyway, so let's see. So, let's find out. Yes! So they're driving, and they're asking, where are we driving to? And then here where it puts us...
Oh, wait, hold on. He also has another part of the line. He's like, you guessed the first clue!
Oh, God. Okay, then basically he shoots himself right here when they ask, where are we going? We going to Disneyland? Yeah. And then he says the worst thing you can ever say in this situation, by the way. But again, poor Hal. He says,
we're going to a place 1,000 times better than Disneyland.
Yeah, you never want to say that. To any parents out there, you never want to say that. Because it will never
end in disappointment.
Unless... I can't think of anywhere else. Again,
I mean, Universal Studios. If they don't know the difference,
if you live in California, if you don't say Disney World, I mean, Disney World would be the go-to if you're in that location. I'm guessing.
I don't know.
I'm just saying it's scenic. You can go there anytime, but you don't really get to go to.
I also have some nostalgia for this episode because I actually did drive up to Disneyland on Christmas Eve one year.
That sounds awesome.
It was awesome. I mean, it was crowded as hell, but we drove up there, and it was great.
Right.
And in my mind, I was like, oh, what are they going to come up with that's better than Disneyland? I was very intrigued. That kind of hooked me.
Okay, then we have basically the kids going to a random chorus in the bay. This is kind of creepy, but kind of funny on Hal's reaction, just like they're going to a whole chorus of "We Love Dad." It's kind of creepy.
We love Dad. We love Dad.
I love Cranston's reaction of a bit of pride, but a bit of realization of my world is crumbling around me.
Exactly.
And then, okay, so basically I guess they pull over someplace, and then very much like there's they have to look for the thing for a minute while he's thinking of a plan. The idea is he's strategizing here.
Oh, look at them skipper away.
And he has this hilarious... No, before that, he has this hilarious line. Before, it's just this great moment between him and Lois, which kind of one of the great moments of the episode. He says, as the kids are getting out, says, "No eye contact with strangers."
And I've read some subreddit horror stories about rest stops, so yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about.
No eye contact. It's like the most realistic bit of advice you can give.
Oh, that's a good bit of advice, trust me.
I know, I'm just saying you never hear that on TV. It's just, that's what you want to say. Okay, so then we have Hal and Lois are alone in the car for a moment of strategy here, and pretty much is Lois, again, to her credit. Again, the actress can play these scenes really well when it's written for her. And here it's perfect. And this is Lois had a character, which is why it works. It is just her... Well, it's
which
kind of
is sad that the only time the character works is when she's out of character.
Well, I mean, then again,
that's kind of sad unto itself.
Then again, if you look at it from a different angle, like she's so into character, she's just being really methodical in this moment. Depends how far you... Like she's basically, I'm gonna let him crash and burn. Essentially, that's the thing. It's kind of evil, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. She's very down low. She has a little stare, and she's like this happy look on her face, just looking at him, just waiting, just playing the wait. Like wives do actually do this, just give you the waiting game, so you're waiting for you to break. And then I love this. Hal puts on the music to try it like.
Here comes Santa Claus, and it's Mike Henry. Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus.
No, that'd be great though. You know, I told you he's been on that show.
Really?
Yeah, Cranston. He's a regular character on that. Well, not from the very beginning, but like in the last couple seasons, he's a regular.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you did tell me that. Yeah.
It's hilarious. Anyway, so this plays music, like she turns it off, and then basically she wants the truth.
Twice as good as Disneyland, Hal. Really?
10,000 times better.
But you saw my presents. My presents were crap. What'd you get them? Lanyards. Still better than what I got.
I love the way it works. Still better than I got them.
Okay, how much do we have? You know, loose change, everything, credit cards. Minus $520.
What?
Is there a Christmas reason for me to stop somewhere and donate blood? Sell blood?
Again, now there's a really great emotional bit in this scene, though. Again, I love it. This guy is a good father. He means well. It's basically what if Timmy Turner's dad tried, but only he was awesome with every line.
Exactly. It's like, you know, he's just like, he just will not settle for giving their kids kind of an adequate stay-at-home Christmas. He's just like, he's going out of their way to give them something that they'll remember. Yeah. Now, whether they'll remember it for better or for worse, that's kind of the primary conflict of this episode.
Yeah, so basically saying those kids deserve a good Christmas, especially after they work so hard to give us those great gifts. They deserve. I just love him saying they deserve a good Christmas, because whether he likes whether the boys get on the nerves or not, you know, still they deserve a good Christmas for what they've done.
Sure, sure. Okay,
so then now here's my. I wrote this down in my notes all dramatically. So here's my big question for the episode. It's still a big problem within this whole thing, but again, more so with the first half. It kind of became apparent here when he's just going into the awesome line he says. I'm saying, the awesome reaction to hearing, no, I mean everything, credit cards, everything, minus 512. Here's the line I wrote. How are these people not on welfare?
That's a good question.
I'm serious. If they had $93 for Christmas, and basically they get into like a lot of repair work on that car, how are they not living in cardboard boxes? I'm serious. How are they not? I'm not. Maybe not that far. No, but I'm so serious. How are they not like on food stamps or something? They would need that. I mean, what he said like earlier, like the family flush. That to me is a red flag for welfare.
Oh God, right.
See, that to me is a sign of they're not doing good. They need some assistance, some help. Otherwise,
but again, to me, that was still kind of the charm of the show in a way that it was willing to go there. And you know, I'm not going to say it's the most realistic kind of depiction of, you know, lower middle class lifestyle that there is. No, hell no, it wasn't. It was a cartoony depiction of it. But that was kind of the point of the show for me.
The only way these people would stay afloat is if they sold the youngest child. That is the only way these people would stay afloat.
Well, I'm glad that Jamie got born, so we don't have to sacrifice Dewey, because Dewey's good.
No, I'm just saying, let's get rid of Jamie. That's how we fix it. Just get rid of.
Yeah, get rid of Jamie. Yeah, bye, Jamie. We don't care.
Give him a few meals, less mouth to feed. You know, that'll be fine.
Okay, what's next?
So, let's see. So, it's I'm trying to think here. Oh yeah, there's the selling bloodline, which is hilarious. Is there any Christmas reason I can stop by somewhere to sell blood? And basically, she's saying, just give it up.
Yeah, and then I think we cut to the bathroom with Malcolm and Francis.
No, there was like something with there's some cruel woman here.
Cruel woman? What?
There's something. I'm sorry. Never mind. But they're working on like a plan of galvanization.
Okay, and she's like, "Oh, it's very simple. You know, you just have to come up with something that's 1,000 times better than Disneyland. Open on Christmas Day and free." And we also set up the whole, you know, Hal did all the percentages on the gas and everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm sorry. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
It like basically he's worked out the plan. He's working on the plan currently, and basically he's done the calculations to know what the point of no return is.
And that would be 40 miles.
I thought it was 50. I mean, yeah,
I'm
right.
pretty sure it's 40.
Sure, 40's fine, yeah.
And then Dewey comes up, and Dewey's just like, he says something like, oh, Dad, this is going to be like, something about being a Christmas to remember or something, and, or is Mom, is Dad right? Is this going to be a best Christmas? Or is this going to be a really good Christmas? Something like, I don't know, I'm not doing her. And then Lois has a good delivery. She's just like, oh, you'll remember this day for a long time, Dewey. We'll all remember it for a long time.
So if I'm back there as woman, I remember what I was going to say. I'm sorry. It was an important thing, though. It's basically, I meant like she's playing it really cruel here, but she's just kind of throwing these words at him here, and he has this great line where he just, in response to basically her poking all these holes in and saying, well, there's no way you can do this. He says, I'm going to make this happen. He has a Walter White-ish delivery, so I just wanted to point that out there. He says, hey, that's endearing, though. He says, I'm going to make this happen. Like, she's saying, there's no feasible way you could do this. Like, she's throwing all his words at. That's what I meant, sorry. It's like she's throwing all his words at him as we went through earlier. It's like, it has to be 1,000 times better in Disneyland. It says, I'm going to make this happen. That's his whole goal for the episode, to make Christmas happen for these kids. And that's endearing. I'm sorry. Moving on.
All right, so back to, so now we get to Malcolm and Francis.
Yeah, they have a little bathroom chat here.
Yeah, and I love Francis, first of all. He's just like, look, Francis, I just think that, for a while I've been feeling that I've been kind of left. And then Francis, he just kind of blows like, oh, geez, Malcolm, you weren't supposed to find out about the beach trip. Oh, God. Womp, womp. And then I love the whole logic of like, well, you were at Stevie's, or else I would have invited you. And then Malcolm, he's just like, I will say that this is probably one of the few times that Malcolm was probably in the right here. It's like, Malcolm's just like, well, Stevie's 2 blocks away. You have to drive by Stevie's house to get to the beach. I'm like, yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Well, this is a horrible family, Tiki.
Right, I know. That's the point of the show. Don't act like I don't know it's a horrible family.
No, I mean it's a really horrible family. With the exception of Cranston, it's a really horrible family.
All right,
okay,
so
let's see. So like it's like 5 miles. They're like 5 miles away from something, aren't they?
Yeah, 5 miles until the point of no return after this.
Yeah, there's like a little warning there by Lois in the car there. Let's see what else we got.
Oh, Malcolm puts his feelings out there. He's he's just feeling like people are systematically excluding them, and then I think Malcolm gets hit by a bit of a truth bomb in a way.
Yeah, so he's really egotistical
because you're kind of I can tell you're frustrated with Malcolm in general.
Yeah, they say he's got a real ego on him, and they're saying like this is all about you, and and basically the reason we don't bring you on is not you're not wanting to join us because you actually want to. Is you hate being left out. It's all about you. You're a drag. It's all about you. That's why we don't want you along here.
Yeah, I'd say they've got some pretty valid points here.
Yes, I mean he's always that's again it's kind of the flaw of the show. It's like for any story this character's going to be on, he's always going to be the guy criticizing everything, and the other characters in that universe, they're not going to want him around for that.
And I completely agree with you. I think that was a big flaw the show was in general. I think Malcolm in the Middle is definitely one of those shows where the main character is like one of the least interesting characters in the whole thing. And in many ways, he kind of drags down the show, like not intentionally, but like just by pure mechanism of the way the show works, he kind of drags it down.
I tell you, like the cruelest thing of all about this show, Tiki, there was like a moment where I think it was when it might have been when Lois was pregnant. Like when she started to get pregnant, they had yet another burden to deal with. And basically, there's this whole episode about Malcolm basically wanting to go to a school that's pretty much he got a scholarship to a school. He would be able to get out of there and like be on his own expenses and everything. He'd be basically an out for the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then pretty much like how again Cranston does sell this bit, but it's like a horrifying reality though to face that no Malcolm, we need you to figure out how we're going to get out of this hole, otherwise we're done for.
Oh God!
I mean it's pretty funny with that delivery, but still just it's the notion of like basically they're saying hey you can go anywhere you want to start your own future. That's what he has the chance of, and basically they have to get the okay from them to leave. But they say, no, we need you. This family cannot literally survive without you.
I can kind of see shades of Timmy Turner there.
That is a horrifying notion to me.
You're right. It is. But again, you know what? I kind of respect it for that. Like, again, I kind of see these whole kind of dark implications within the show, and I feel like they were there intentionally. I don't think it's something that you can kind of nitpick. I think it just kind of depends on your sensibilities and your sense of humor. Maybe. And we've already established that my sense of humor is quite a bit darker than yours. So
I'm just saying, there was literally an episode where she abused Dewey in various ways and got away with it.
Well. You know, like I said, that's
she
just another
blinded
issue.
him.
That's just another issue. It's another issue that the show handles.
Okay.
Anyways, what's next? We're kind of getting off track here.
Right. Okay, so let's see. He's a drag. That was a great one. One of the great Cranston monologues. So Francis I need you up here. Look at the radio. So he scoots up somehow. Don't ask me the logistics of how you move around that thing. He scoots up there. Then pretty much, and just I wrote all this now because I thought it's brilliant.
Okay, go for it. Do your Cranston monologue.
Okay, says Francis, I need $1,800. I will pay you over 6 years in monthly payments of $39.50. I have no idea where I'm driving or have anything planned for Christmas. I hate that I have to ask. But I don't know what else to do. I love you, son.
Oh, he's just so goddamn genuine in this moment, man. He really is.
He plays like a drama too.
He's at the end of his rope. And it is a dramatic scene, I think. It is like one of the most tension-filled scenes, especially with what comes next.
Oh, yeah. And it's like going into the depths of madness with Hal. It's awesome. So then the reveal here is basically like adds like yet another 10-pound weight to the already crumbling Hal.
Exactly.
Because he finds out that Francis comes clean here and says, well, guys, I guess now's the right time to tell you. I was actually fired from the ranch, and I have no money.
Yeah.
The wife doesn't know yet. Essentially, he was fired because I don't understand how he botches this up, to be honest with you. He somehow put money into a non-existent ATM machine. How? I have no idea.
All I can think of is the Breaking Bad tie-in to an ATM machine. Like, somehow that's the ATM machine that ends up in Breaking Bad.
Oh, no, the idea... It's just the idea. How do you put money? I put money into clearly an ATM machine that apparently is not an ATM. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was a weak explanation, but whatever.
And how is the guy responsible? I don't know. It's just he's suing him for money. To me, I feel like I kind of like the ranch hand guy. I mean, he's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That seems a little out of character for that guy, but I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
The point is, so he doesn't know it, and how hypocritically lectures him. It's just brilliant. Just says, how can you lie to your family like that? You know, and that he can just keep going and pretending like that. And essentially, everything Hal's doing in this episode. And Lois is like an eye roll. And also, I noticed this is kind of creepy. Well, not creepy. It's a realistic thing. I don't want to take that statement. Let me redact that. She has I know she in this episode, and then there's all these car scenes. No, she has a broken blood vessel in her eye.
Oh, God.
You'll notice she has her right eye. It's red.
Mm-hmm.
So I noticed. Okay, anyway, so this is with the little eye shot on the eye roll. You kind of notice that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, let's see. So he doesn't turn around.
Nope. He floors it as a matter.
You know why? Don't you, Tiki? You know why he doesn't turn around?
Why?
Despite Lois telling him turn around, it says it's because he is the one who drives.
Oh, God.
Had to get it in there. Okay, so basically they go to get gas. Because remember, they can't afford gas, so he pretends to get gas.
Yeah, because he's just that desperate at this point.
I love that he's just psychotically picking the noises. He's mimicking putting gas in the car, and he's making the noises click, boom, 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 boom.
I think he's reached Raymundo levels of psychotic at this point.
Oh no, look, Raymundo wasn't that crazy in the episode, okay?
No, he was just drunk.
He was off. No, he's not. True. He was off his rocker, but he wasn't this level of crazy. That's all I'm saying. Come on.
All right, yeah, you're right. This is an episode that kind of plunges into Hal's sanity. So
Look, see, Raimundo was delusional. Hal is just he's lost it. He's completely the car is without the rails right now. You know, it's off the rails.
Pretty much, very literally, because it's about to run out of gas and he doesn't have any money for gas. So yes.
Worse than that. She gives him 60 seconds to come up with a plan. So we're seeing full-blown crawl space Cranston here. Basically. So as he's frantically looking for anything he can think of in 60 seconds around the gas station in the middle of nowhere, as he's frantically doing that, we see what the kids are up to. And basically, they accidentally knock over bikes instead of, like, it is a TV convention, in general, a media convention. I think it's like a little tired. It's like they knock the bike over, and the people come out saying, "What did you do to our bikes?" Seriously, if I see that one more, at least A Million Ways to Die in the West made it a little funnier.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, come on, seriously, why? You know, bikes, they fall down. They have to. You would think a bike would be made so it can fall down and be okay.
Well, we also have that established in our Big Bang Theory episode as well.
Yeah, you would think. This is serious. That's the thing that always bugs me with that little convention of, like, you know, you think people would be a little cooler. Like, yeah, it happens. Okay, it's heavy, and aside from that little metal thing that goes in the ground, it is not balanceable at all.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so then basically, so the bikers are mad at everyone. Basically, all the members of the family Malcolm's off to the side. And he says, no, wait, I can't let you blame them. They had nothing to do with this. Well, who did? And this to me is really cruel around Christmas time.
It is. I didn't like it, and I especially didn't like the fact that it's meant to, like, redeem Malcolm in the episode.
Yes, Malcolm is our Scrooge, right?
I would very much say Malcolm is our Scrooge. I just think this is kind of like a backwards sort of way to resolve the Scrooge dilemma.
Well, I mean, he gets a comeuppance, so...
Yeah, that's true. He does get a comeuppance. Very, very true.
I guess he kind of get... Well, we'll get to it in a minute. We'll get to the Scrooge debate in a moment.
Yeah.
So the point is, he points out, this to me is really cruel, he points out to a guy across the way, says, my dad did it directly to prove a point, so I wouldn't turn out like you.
Yeah, come on, man. You really have to rub the wound, so fast.
You could just say, here's an idea, just say, it was that guy.
Right.
Or just say, there was another biker, he just did it and he ran off.
Or just say that the bikes were like that when we got here.
Yeah.
Any number of things would have do.
Any number of things. Yeah, you should have seen his little clutch thing went out and it just fell over. Again, can happen.
Right. As Leonard from The Big Bang Theory will tell you.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, so the point is, poor fake dad, he's most likely going to get pummeled horribly.
Oh, boy. Yeah, this really, I'm kind of pissed for Hal at this point. I really am.
For a moment, the first time I watched it, for a split second, I was worried, like, oh my God, Hal. But thankfully it wasn't him. Just for a brief second, when you said, oh my dad, then you literally, before you realized, oh, it's fake Hal. It's fake Hal. I'm just saying for like a brief moment, because then you remember when he says dad, it's like, oh no, because Hal's been through the ringer this episode, you wouldn't be surprised if he's going to get beaten up by bikers. Anyway, so meanwhile we see Hal getting really desperate. He's like digging through a trash can. He's out. The tank's literally on empty at this point. So then he gets the last ditch ever. She's counting down, which by the way, counting out loud not helping. So she's counting down. Says, "Okay, Hal, we're done. We're coming clean." Says, "Okay, one last thing." And this to me, this is hilarious. It shows you he's like walking like all sorrowful, like and then he sees a little drop of like oil, or maybe it was gas. I don't know.
Oil. I am an oil man, and I drink your milkshake. I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
What was that from?
There will be blood.
Ah. Okay, anyway, so he sees like a little spot of something on the ground, and he gets an idea. Like if there was an animated light bulb, now would be where it was welcomed. So he says, and I love this. Again, Lois, she can read Hal these moments, and she says, no, don't do it. And basically, he says, for Christmas, essentially, if you could say anything, there was a subtitle right now, it'd say, for Christmas!
Right.
He slips purposefully. Oh, I've slipped on this oil. I've slipped on this liquid. And he crashes right through the gas station window.
Womp womp.
And he falls,
And
and
I
he's
love
just...
how he kind of says, like, oh no, there was a diligent customer or property owner or employee or something like an irresponsible, a neglectful, a neglectful employee or property owner. I ruined the joke.
Good negligent. Job. It's negligent. That's the
okay. Fine. We totally ruined that line.
Anyway, so he falls through, and he says, I love this. Just Hal again, he kind of botches it up. But just says, oh my God, are you okay? And he could just say anything. He's like, oh, my toe. He could say anything. But he says he's honest because he's lost all sense of brain cells. Just
exactly.
He threw the last bit of energy, just find the courage to jump through the window. Which again, it's endearing. He's willing to jump through a window to save Christmas. So that's impressive.
I mean, it's a weird sort of illegal kind of endearing. Kind of like manipulating the legal system, but yeah, it's endearing.
Well, at least he didn't hurt an innocent bystander like the other two members.
Oh God, right. Very.
At least he didn't try to kill one and just send another one to their doom like the other two members. So the point is it's just Hal's an honest guy. He's too nice a guy to do something deceitful like that. He does something else deceitful, but he earned it though. He basically says. He's feeling. He was more than. It shows you how psychotic he was. He was willing to jump through there to get injured for the holidays. He says, "I'm fine." It's just so frustrating. I'm fine. And then the guy, he was in the perfect situation here, I guess. The guy says, "Oh, it's good because I have no money."
Right.
He could have sued that guy for all he was worth.
Oh God. Hey, you know what? You could take some free microblades on the house.
Yeah, free wiper.
Wiper blades, okay. That's as funny as the guy from Ant-Man offering Paul Rudd an orange smoothie on the way out.
No, that is not as funny as that. The orange smoothie thing, I think, is much more funny than that.
Hey, Scott, just between you and me, if you took the orange smoothie, it's totally out the books, man, but I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, don't compare the wipers to the smoothie. That was much.
All right. Fair point.
Anyway, so then Hal again is desperate.
Robbins, they always find out.
They always do find out, folks. So anyway, so they're heading to the basically they're heading on the way back because Hal he's lost everything now. And he says, well, okay, maybe we can go to the hills and just find something there. He says, no, Hal, time to come clean. Just he's willing to kind of Jimmy McGill style, just go out to the hills to find something. Mm-hmm. Okay, anyway, so...
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, there's just, this sketchy trail leading up into the hill. And he thinks that's a good idea.
Yeah, anyway, so then she says, look, and this line just out of context, though, is hilarious. She says, look, they forgave you for banjo camp. They'll forgive you for this. Mm-hmm. And look, I'll vouch for it. I'll say it was my fault, too, but this has your fingerprints all over it.
It does.
So, okay, so anyway, so we see the kids are kind of slowly, for a moment, they appreciate Malcolm. Hey! Yeah, we appreciate it. And then again, Malcolm makes a big mistake here. He lends his jacket to Dewey.
Oh boy.
And then Dewey finds a receipt in the pocket. Which, by the way, seriously, it's common etiquette.
A little rude of Dewey.
This is very
to go through the pockets.
That is very rude. Someone lends you a jacket, you don't go through the pocket. At least if you feel something, you don't announce it. You don't look at it. You take your hand out of the pocket or pretend it's not there.
Right.
That's what you do. That's very rude. Especially don't like an idiot. Again, Dewey, this is my problem with Dewey. He always does the stupid thing. But he's a kid, though, so he right off.
Yeah, that's the whole thing with Dewey, is you have to give him a pass for what he does.
I mean, come on, like an idiot, he reads it loud to everyone. Just anyway. So
but he's a kid.
Yeah,
that's
he
the
is.
Point of character.
I know.
Kids would do that. Kids have no censor.
Yeah. Anyway, so Dewey finds a credit card receipt for the 2 clocks for the 2 clocks that Malcolm gave his parents. Mm-hmm. And they're being very verbose about it, so Hal and Lois are surprised by this. and he says, well, those weren't cheap. And you use the cheap shortcut to get us these gifts, Malcolm. They were cheap. They're $50 a pop. And by the way, before Hal came by feigning being upset. Well, actually, no, not feigning, but he was really upset because all the stuff he's been through, and one of the kids didn't even pull his weight on that. Mm-hmm. The point is, they say, well, you have a credit card? Yeah, I got one a few weeks ago. I have a good credit rating.
Yeah, Malcolm, you're such a know-it-all.
I like the idea that he has a good credit rating, though.
Yeah.
I don't know, the idea is a good credit rating and credit card. Anyway, so then Hal comes by. He's genuinely upset. He's had a breakdown over these kids, and one of them hasn't done anything to deserve that. He's really, it's for a cheap shortcut. And he finds out.
You know what I really want for Christmas, Malcolm? I want this. And then he gives Malcolm a big ol' hug, and at first we think it's a heartwarming moment.
And I love this. I love how Lois is the one to see this, and this turns him around, and because he's just so brilliant. He reaches to Malcolm's back pocket, takes his wallet, and he lifts the card as Lois sees this, and like, I can't speak to this. I'm just beyond words.
Like, where is our life gone at this point? This is just so bad.
This is the path I started us down. So then he says, "I forgive you, son."
Oh yes.
Oh jeez. Oh god. It's just where to begin?
Okay, so where are we going? Where is the ultimate destination? He looks at a sign at the gas station. Just the first thing that comes into his head.
Snow skiing.
Like, snow skiing on Mount Bundy. And I love how this just pleases everyone. They're like, "Oh yeah, I love Mount Bundy."
Yeah.
All right. So let me go through this scene because I think this scene's like the most genuinely hilarious scene in the whole episode, maybe for my money.
All right.
Just Cranston's delivery. So he's at a hotel. He's at a ski resort. He's trying to check in, and there's this friendly little cashier that's behind the counter, and she's like, "Do you want to try your? Shall you pay for?" Do you want to pay with your credit card, sir? And then Hal, in the most genuine, like, freaked out, anxiety-ridden performance I've ever seen from Cranston.
So well.
He's just like, let's give it a shot.
In this moment, it reminds me of Jimmy McGill from Better Call Saul when he's with the clients, when the Kellmans are holding the pen.
Kettlemans.
Exactly. Then with the moment of truth moment, just like when she's putting your mission, it's like a little pending thing, like a little it's registering it, seeing if it's good to go. And just like you see the best like Oscar-worthy acting on Cranston's face here. It's just like he's on the verge of losing it. It's so brilliant. And he says, and it goes like yes,
in your face.
So basically, they've hit a low point.
Yes, it is a low point, I think.
And then this line,
credit card.
This line kind of sells all the insanity when he says, "Oh, honey, if it wasn't for your anger and my recklessness, there wouldn't be on this wonderful trip now, would we?"
I would think that sums up Malcolm in the middle in a nutshell.
Yeah, but at least Cranston kind of legitimizes it a little bit when he has a line like that,
Sure.
But still, I got to tell you, this is a horrific implication. He steals his son's credit card, and it's the idea.
But you know what? That's what I like about the show, in a certain extent, is that it is willing to go that far and go into like morally gray areas and end in that way.
And just the idea that his son is another reason he's so peeved that his son is better off than he is.
Right, exactly.
Okay, then let's see. So then there's like a last bit here. So then Francis gets off the hook by saying to his wife says, "Oh, because Francis has been pretending to be happy, not to let her on to the fact that he's been fired." Mm-hmm. So she says, "Oh, Francis, you've been so happy. I don't want you to go back to your job and make it that miserable again." Says, "Well, why don't you quit your job?" And of course, Francis out of the doghouse, a little unlikable. Yes, he's out of the doghouse. Doesn't learn anything.
Yeah,
then,
I'd say so.
So let's say they all go let's get some hot chocolate. And then it says, have a nice trip, Malcolm. And then Malcolm says, thank you. And just wondering, what the? Wait.
Dun dun dun.
And that's the end of the episode.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah.
All right. So that is Malcolm in the Middle, Hal's Christmas gift. So really quickly, what are some of your final thoughts on this thing?
Well, pretty much the same thing I've been saying throughout. So Cranston was brilliant in this thing. It was hilarious. Again, rewatching it, just the first act of this does not hold up at all.
I completely agree.
First act, I guess. What would you classify as second act? Like when they go on the road, or is that like when they open the gifts? I think when they start.
I'd say the second act is the road trip.
I don't know. I think first act. I don't know. I think it breaks down like first act is like getting him in the situation. Second act is like we're gonna make the opening of the gifts, and the third act is the road trip.
Okay, I don't know. I think the road trip takes up a majority of the episode, but whatever.
We have to know what starts happening. I mean, arguing semantics here. Point is,
exactly.
but yeah, I mean, there are some really again the things I don't like about the show are a little more prevalent than I saw the first time. It's just like again, Lois makes some big grave errors here. Reese, I don't like.
Well, Reese does have that line about lying in the open grave. You got to give him that at least. You got to give him a point for that.
He's got that, and I like the idea. Again, basically, the gift giving onward is the good stuff.
Yeah, he does good with his gift. He's got a few good moments in here.
A few good moments. Again, Malcolm, surprisingly, usually I'm a little more nice than
Malcolm is most definitely the most annoying character in this special, I would say. For sure.
I mean, ordinarily, don't get me wrong, no, not the guy's cheerleader or anything like we are for Cranston. I mean,
right.
Usually I'm a little nicer. Usually I can kind of get. Basically, we're rooting for the kid not to go nuts and kill the whole family in the show. Just
exactly.
Not to lose it. But this episode is just so unlikable. Let's talk about the Scrooge moment, by the way. So with the old comeuppance and everything. So again, basically his moment with Hal, that would be his kind of his Scrooge redemption moment. But
I guess so, yeah. But it's just a twisted kind of. I'd say it's Scrooge with a twist.
Yeah, it's basically Scrooge.
We've had Scrooges with twist before, so that's not a new thing for Christmas in July.
It's basically Scrooge who kind of he learns his lesson. Kind of, but at the end he still gets screwed over because it's just the reality situation of you know what?
Exactly.
Cratchits, it's a little too late to help the Cratchits, Scrooge. You screwed them over all these years. Nothing changing that. Right. Tiny Tim, still going to Harpland. You didn't save diddly squat.
Okay.
You're the reason that kid's on death row, man.
Okay, so yeah, I really enjoyed this episode for sure. Again, I think I appreciate kind of the more sort of white trash sort of sensibilities that the show offers, and I kind of grew up in a similar environment to that, so I can really appreciate it. And to me, it brings that back sort of nostalgia of dysfunctional families and growing up in them and whatnot. And so I enjoyed the show for that reason, and I can definitely say it's probably just a taste thing in relation to why you don't like the show.
Probably.
All right. Anyways, so you want to get to our tropes?
Yeah, sure. What tropes we got here? So we got Christmas gift giving. We got Christmas on a budget, so let's put that one down there. Basically,
would the Christmas road trip count?
Yeah, Christmas road trip, certainly.
Christmas road trip. Okay.
Basically, when I say
Scrooge.
Yeah, Malcolm Scrooge. And when I say Christmas on a budget, I mean basically kind of less fortunate Christmas view of it.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you got some of that. You got kind of our stressed out holiday dad. We got that.
Like Schwarzenegger and Jingle All the Way.
Like Chevy Chase from Christmas Vacation.
Indeed.
Basically, he's one scene away from becoming Chevy Chase from Christmas Vacation.
Okay, I don't know. I think that's about it.
Oh no, I think we might have some. Well, we got kind of the big kind of road, not just a road trip, but we have kind of the big kind of payoff in the ski lodge. So that's kind of the out of town Christmas. It's like when you go to a different. It's like a
very true. Yeah.
I don't know if we have anything else. Oh, we got Charlie Christmas Tree, and we got kind of the humble Christmas experience.
Yeah, for sure.
We got humble Christmas moments. That and Hal making the boggle.
Definitely. Okay. So I guess with that, let's get to the list. Set it up.
So, folks, we've been compiling a list of all the
big,
specials.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting big. So we've been compiling a list of all the Christmas specials we talked about so far. So at the end of it, we can say, man. That is a lot of stuff and things.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So with that on the list right now, we have Rugrats Let It Snow, I Love Lucy Christmas Show, Restoration Dragon, Batman Invasion of the Bold, Batman.
The second time.
I know, Invasion of the Bold, Rocket Power Christmas, whoa, Bells of Fraggle Rock. All the Family Draft Dodger, Holly Jolly Secrets from Adventure Time, Let's see. We have Inspector Gadget Saves Christmas, of course. Ugh. My fault. My fault. I know you don't have to say it. Okay, we have Pinky and the Brain. Merry Christmas, Keenan. Cube Phone. The Lou Grant Show. You're a Dirty Rotten Bastard from the Nostalgia Critic. Holiday Time at Disneyland. Now, Santa, are you rushing or are you tracking? We have The Odd Couple. We have Doug. We have The Cleveland Show. We have Have Yourself a Thornberry Little Christmas.
The Goose.
Merry Christmas Goose, Marianne. I apologize. Bed's Uncontrollable Christmas from Community. Watch season 1 on DVD. It's a metaphor. Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas specials, which is fun.
On a feeling.
I believe in okay, and then yesterday I made up on a few of them. I finally got to Stantler's Little Helpers from Pokemon. I finally got to a very awesome Yo Gabba Gabba Christmas, which that actually turned out quite well, I thought. And then we had Mr. Hanky's Christmas Classics, my follow-up to South Park's Woodland Critter Christmas from last year. And then right there you can see Hal's Christmas Gift. All right. So we're running kind of a little behind schedule, BlueDragonFive. So just tropes. That's what we're all about. Ask me the question.
What do we call this process?
Next episode on Christmas in July, I forgot about. Okay, under the wrapping paper really quick. What are we reviewing that I'm not particularly a fan of?
As we folks have made a little agreement here, so talking about a show that Tiki's more high on, I'm not so much, except for Cranston. That's our common ground there. And with this case, we have some show I like much more, and Tiki not so crazy about, Big Bang Theory.
And I don't have a Cranston to root for here. I like Raj, I guess. Raj is okay, and that's about the best I can get in terms of likable.
See, folks, this is where we get Tiki back for Inspector Gadget Christmas.
Right. Okay. So
much
anyway,
better, but still not one he's crazy about.
So ask me the question.
So what do we call this magical process that can bring hell to a breakdown?
We call it putting the mistletoe underneath the microscope. Next time on Christmas in July.
Skylar.
Yes! You solved the first clue!